honestly, after all of that, I don't know, hair loss sounds so bad, but it really is.
My hair, at that point, I was like, my hair is my only thing going for me. Right? It's like, if I lose my hair, I'm going to lose it.
Hey friends, welcome to Keep It Simple Sexy. I'm Christine Bullock, founder of KO Body Care, certified fitness trainer and mom of 2 little girls who's just trying to juggle it all and feel as good as possible. I'm so grateful that you're here. Now let's get started, sexy. Hello everyone, welcome back to Keep It Simple Sexy. Well, there's nothing like looking down at your sweet, beautiful little newborn and seeing chunks of your hair lying all over them. Has anybody else been there? Postpartum hair loss, it's one of the many unpleasant realities, along with sleepless nights and all the diaper changes on babies and ourselves that come along with bringing a baby into this world. If you've experienced it like I have and will again probably with this pregnancy, then you know the sudden shedding or clump spotted in the shower can be panic-inducing. But postpartum hair loss is a super common after effect of pregnancy. And according to the American Pregnancy Association, the condition affects somewhere between 40 to 50% of women, but I feel like 100% of women I speak to go through this. And normal hair loss, just so you understand, is around 80 hairs a day, where postpartum is around 400. And again, I feel like I have at least 1,000 hairs a day I was shedding. So I need to fix this time around, and I went to the expert. Today we have hair goddess and expert Justine Marjan to walk us through all her tips to lessen the loss, grow hair fast, and style those baby hairs. And I mean, you're going to have to look at the YouTube because her luscious locks are like shiny, gorgeous, amazing today. Thank you for coming, Justine. A little bit about Justine. Dividing her time between Los Angeles and New York, Justine is trusted as both a beauty influencer and celebrity hairstylist. A stylist for 15 years, she started in the salon world before transitioning to celebrity and editorial styling, where she's been touted for creating some of the most iconic and trend-setting styles. Seriously, have to follow her. She is such an amazing stylist. Her expertise has been featured in countless publications, including Teen Vogue, Glamour, Allure, Elle, InStyle, and so many more. Refinery 29 called Justine the Queen of Braids and named her as one of the pros who could change the way you could do hair. In 2017, WWD named Justine as one of fashion's next big hairstylist, and she also won the American Influence Award for Emerging Hairstylist back in 2008. I mean, she's the hottest stuff out there. There's so much more. She's been the global stylist for Tresemme since 2017. In 2018, she launched her own range of trendy hair accessories with Kitsch, which have created cult-worthy following. You've seen it on every celebrity, including myself. I love those little pins, especially right now with little kids and, popping them in and looking very stylish in a moment. And Justine was the lead hairstylist for 2019 and 2020's Bravo's Project Runway and has been a judge for Glamour's annual beauty awards for many years, the InStyle Beauty Awards for 2020, 2021, the Zoe Report's annual beauty awards, and Blink's beauty awards. And she's also a judge for the prestigious North American Hairstyling Awards. So, and I actually cut her bio. She's done so much. I've known Justine for so many years, styling my hair, trimming my hair when she, not even starting out because you've been doing it for so long, but was working with Jen Atkin before. And I love her and I can call her a friend too. She's very sweet. And a mom. So that's why we're bringing her in to talk about hair and motherhood.
Amazing. That was so nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Such a nice intro. I'm so excited to be here with you and chat all things pregnancy and postpartum hair.
It's wonderful to see you. I actually remember back when I found out I was pregnant and you were doing my hair and you knew that you were pregnant but didn't say anything. And so exciting to see you now with your little baby, Avishai.
Avishai, yes.
Avishai.
Yes, thank you.
And that's crazy. Another thing you have to go on social to see because he is so cute.
He's about to turn a year, which is insane. I just
When
can't.
is that?
It's this Monday, like less than a week. I
Oh.
know. I can't
Well, I'll
believe it.
talk all about birthday party later.
Yeah.
It's a lot of planning for mom, so
Totally.
you're busy right now.
Totally.
Well, let's take a deep dive into your career first and your experience. Tell us how you got started in hair and beauty.
So I have always loved beauty, art, and fashion. And I never really saw it as a career path. I just didn't know like what options were available then. And this was before the age of social media where you really saw people behind the scenes. So I didn't know that it was someone's job to do a celebrity for a red carpet or to do the hair for an advertising campaign or the cover of a magazine. I just didn't, no one really, it wasn't, as common to know that that was someone's full job. So I was always inspired by those type of things. I used to love getting magazines and flipping through them. I read every magazine cover to cover growing up. And then I got a job as a hairstylist, not a hairstylist. I got a job as a receptionist in a salon. And this was right out of high school. And then that really opened me up to the world of hairstyling and what it entails. And that's when I realized that someone did the hair for all of these special events that I was so interested in. And so I realized, wow, this puts together all of my passions: beauty, art, fashion, and hair. And I can do this as a career. So that was really my goal. And I went to cosmetology school. I assisted in that salon. I took advanced classes. And I slowly worked my way up before I realized I needed to move to a bigger city. So I moved to LA, started from scratch, assisting all over again, and just worked my way up through word of mouth. And yeah, so it was, I think then social media started emerging when I moved to LA. And that's when I really, got to see firsthand the people that were doing the job that I wanted to do. And I reached out to a few people that I was following and ended up getting, they replied and I got hired by a few people that were already doing celebrity hair and editorial hair. And I got to shadow them and assist and really learn and build my own craft.
That's an amazing, and it's an amazing story of just following your heart too, because like you said, you really didn't understand. And I completely agree. Like, I've always loved the arts and I was a
Mhm.
ballerina before, but you have no idea that there are all these amazing and well-paying jobs too within the arts where you can really focus that love and have a
Yeah,
career in it. And you just followed your heart truly and
totally.
hustled. You're a hustler. Justine is still a
Thank
hustler. She
you.
works so hard. So you've gone from the salon to really the go-to hairstylist for celebrities, for style, for editorials as well. And I'm just throwing this in here, guys. We're going to get to the other part, but I know everybody wants to hear about this. What are the glamorous parts about it, and what are the not so glamorous parts about it, the job?
I mean, it's so fun getting to create a full look from start to finish and working with a team, especially if you're working with people that you can really bounce ideas off of and get inspired by. So usually when, you work with a celebrity or you do a shoot for a magazine or whatever it is, there's a whole team. So it's hairstylist, makeup artist, wardrobe stylist, creative director, there's just a whole slew of people, and then the talent. So it's just really fun when we can all work together and bounce ideas and just be creative and kind of like put ideas together until there's a final look, and then seeing it all come to life is just so rewarding and satisfying. So I love that whole process. And then I love when we get to do, outside of the box type of events like the Met Gala, which is like the Olympics for hair and makeup artists, because then you can really like push yourself and do something that you wouldn't normally do. And people are more willing to take risks. So you really get that chance to be creative. So that's like the fun parts of it. The not so glamorous parts is most of it, to be honest. There's a lot of like waiting around, like, long days on set. Sometimes it's like you feel like you're wasting time. It's just like hours waiting, or like things just take a long time. There's lots of early call times, planes, going from planes right to work. So, without rest, or like shifting time zones, random weird odd hours. it's just a lot of, preparation as well. There's a lot of running errands, prepping hair extensions, organizing products, packing your kit, lugging things around. Most of our hair kits are like 60, 70 pounds. So it's sometimes surprising when I hire people to work for me and I'm like, okay, get this and this. And they're like, oh, I can't carry this. And I'm like, you got to start lifting weights. Like,
You are not ready.
yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of that type of stuff that I don't think people realize. So that's why it's also, when I try to find people to work for me or work with me, it's hard to find people that are willing to put up with all of those things to get to the finish line. And I think that you just have to be willing to see both sides of it and appreciate the hard work that goes into it, as well as the fun, glamorous side of it as well.
That's what I wanted people to hear, because I'm friends with so many of you guys in the arts and makeup and stylist, and it seems like such a glamorous job, and it is literally the opposite of it. I mean, you're on the back in the call of everybody else for your schedule,
Yeah.
like that. I mean, hustling around New York, even with all the stairs and the lack of
Mhm.
elevators in your cases, and it's just like,
Right.
bless you guys. And then you just make somebody else look beautiful
Right.
too. Half the time
Totally.
you guys are like, I'm sorry I didn't have time to do my hair or my makeup today. You're like,
Yes, totally. Most of
like,
the time we're like in sweats, like sneakers. I've had people come work for me and they're like in heels and I'm like, this is not going to work. You have
oh
to
no,
carry like
girl.
a kit upstairs and stuff. Like we need to be comfortable, ready to work. Like it's a work.
Yeah. And run to the next job too.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say too, you really shine in the sense of being creative, like you said, in styling and coming up with something new. Seeing you do the runway shows has been so exciting, and really come up with whole visions. Like that's where Justine really shines. Her styling really deserves all the words, if not, the number ones, because you really just come out with everything. Like they're
Thank
just
you.
beautiful. Yeah. And so creative. Well, so that's a little side of the hairstylist world. Let's talk about the pregnancy world. How
Yes.
was your pregnancy? And um, was there any tips that you have for taking care of your hair during pregnancy?
To be honest, I had a really great pregnancy. I know most people don't talk about that, but I actually, for the most part, loved being pregnant because I felt like I had a lot of energy. My skin was better than it's ever been. Like I didn't have one breakout. I stopped growing hair on my arms and legs, which I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen when you're pregnant. I was like, this is great.
What?
I know. And then I felt like my skin was glowing. My hair was so thick and grew so
It
long,
was.
healthy. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And yeah, I didn't have any of the like horrible symptoms. The only thing that I had that was like bad was I had pregnancy insomnia. So I didn't sleep at all. And I haven't slept since I've had my son. So now I haven't slept in 2 years.
I just prepped you.
But that was the one thing that was hard, is the pregnancy insomnia. Also, food tasted amazing. Like it was so fun to eat pregnant. Like I was like, it just doesn't hit the same when you're not pregnant, Like
Yeah.
I feel like your senses are more alive when you're pregnant. So I felt like I could taste food better and everything just was so delicious. And it was also during the pandemic that I was pregnant, which was, I feel really lucky because I had a lot more time to take care of myself. So I was doing prenatal yoga every day. I was going on a walk for, an hour every day. And I was doing meditation a lot. And I just felt so good. It was just so nice to have that time to focus on myself and my health and well being. And yeah, so I loved it. We want to have one more child. And I'm kind of sad thinking that I'll only get to do it one more time.
It's funny. I actually have the insomnia this time around.
Yeah.
And every time I'm up in the middle of the night, I'm like, is this the insomnia or is this stress? Because I'm just
Yeah.
really busy right now, too. But I think about you every time because I
Yes.
remember your insomnia that you had
Yeah.
before, too.
Yes. I always like cottage cheese in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. Always like get up and eat
Help
cottage
you
cheese.
sleep.
I was so hungry.
To help you sleep. Yeah, I mean, that pregnancy sounds fabulous. I will say mine was really good too, but I was kind of towards the end of COVID too, and it was really nice to have the time. And this time I'm like, pregnant? Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Oh my God, I forgot about
Right.
that. So
I think about that.
it
Think
may be
about
a
if
little
I do it
different this
again.
time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you'll enjoy it no matter what. And I was way more sick this time. And speaking of
Oh,
postpartum, let's talk about postpartum too.
mhm.
Um, so it's a lot for a new mom, as you know. We're learning
Mhm.
so much, and it's even not a new mom. It's a lot. Did
Right.
you have any postpartum symptoms? And then we can kind of dive into if you also had the postpartum hair loss that comes with it as well. But
Yes.
anything in general.
Postpartum was really hard for me. I was actually, I felt really shocked by what postpartum was like, and I felt really ill prepared for it. I don't feel like, um, my care providers really prepared me for what was going to happen. And I didn't feel like I had heard about it enough from, people talking about it. I feel like people just don't really, it wasn't, I mean, at least at the time, I feel like now I've heard more people kind of express the reality of what postpartum is like, but I completely felt unprepared and shocked by what it was like. So, yeah, I think I had a bit of postpartum depression because I was so emotional. I felt like I was just in tears like all day, every day. I also was mourning my pregnancy. I
Yeah.
felt like my pregnancy, it just didn't, I know that it just happens when you have the baby, but I really felt like I had more time. I didn't, because my baby came a little bit early, not a lot, like 1 week early. So, and I thought he was going to come late because everyone, even my care providers, were telling me, oh, they'll probably be late. They'll probably be late. So I just didn't feel prepared mentally that it was going to happen that quickly. And then, on
I
top
did that too. Just like I was induced though, and so I
right,
knew, but I had those, especially those few days before where I was really mourning, but I was able to prepare myself more for it.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so now I feel like I've learned a lot where if I go into it again next time, I'm like, okay, I got to be prepared that this can happen at any time, starting at they say 37 weeks is full term. So, and then on top of that, you're so exhausted because you just went through like a marathon of giving birth, which is just putting your body through so much. Then you don't sleep. Like you're not sleeping because your
Yeah.
baby is up every 2 hours to eat. And when they're up,
I don't want to do it again this
and then,
time.
and they're not good at eating. So it takes like, sometimes feeding them takes an hour and a half. And then they sleep for 30 minutes and then you have to do it all over again. So then when they're down, you're like, okay, take a shower, eat something really fast. And then it's like, okay, got to tend to the baby again. So it was just really, really, and then on top of that, weird things are happening to your body. You're getting like cramps. You have cramps from
Oh, I
your
forgot about that.
uterus.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And then there's like blood coming out of you, and then you're uncomfortable. It's hard to walk. And it's just all
Yes.
these weird things happening where you're like, whoa, what's
This is
happening?
a whole episode in and of itself.
Yeah. So I felt completely unprepared. I didn't
Yeah.
know like any of that stuff was going to happen. And I also didn't feel prepared for breastfeeding. I was kind of, I just was like, oh yeah, I'll just, throw the baby on there. But I didn't realize it takes a few days and then you're engorged and all these weird things are happening, like I
I
was
had
on
that too.
Google, like, what's happening to me,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it was a really hard time. It was a really hard time mentally, and it
I
was
think for
draining. And
most.
then people want to come visit, and they come
Yes.
visit, and then you're trying to entertain people,
Yes.
and then you have to clean up a mess, like washing dishes and do it was just I felt like it was chaos. Like I didn't go into I was supposed to be on bed rest after I had my son too for a week. And that's very hard for me because I'm a very active person. And then when I went into my kitchen a week after I gave birth, it was like a tornado had gone through there. Like I was like, oh my God,
Talk
what is
about hormones.
it was like
Do you
I
realize
don't even
I'm
know what was
continuing to give
happening.
life to this child? Just clean
Right.
the kitchen.
Totally. It was crazy. Yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, honestly, after all of that, I don't know, hair loss sounds so bad, but it really is like because you are going through all of this, and then you're just like the most simple thing is like, can I just have some clear skin and pretty hair,
yeah,
please?
totally.
Did you go? Because your hair really did look beautiful the whole time, but
Thank
you
you.
deal with it. You know, you did have a lot of hair, like you said. Did you go through
Yes.
that?
I definitely did lose a little bit of hair, but
Mhm.
I didn't have crazy hair loss like I see a lot of people have on social media. But I was very active in trying to prevent that because I'm like, my hair at that point, I was like, my hair is my only thing going for me. It's like if I lose my hair, I'm gonna lose it.
It's your passion too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was really active about, trying to prevent postpartum hair loss. So I did many things. Do you want me to go into, like, my
Well, let's first say why do you know why we get the hair
Yeah,
loss?
so it happens for several reasons. Obviously, hormonal plays a big part in it
Mhm.
because our hormones are going crazy after birth. You lose a ton of hormones. That's why, people are in tears after, giving birth, or there's a lot of like postpartum anxiety and depression and just different things that happen. So it's completely normal because we're just going through our bodies figuring out how to get the hormones right after childbirth. And then part of it is also a nutrient deficiency because you lose an organ when you give birth and you lose so much blood. And if you're breastfeeding, there's so much energy and nutrients going into the breast milk. So your body kind of takes whatever it has and puts it into taking care of the baby, like making this baby survive. So a lot of it has to do with nutrient deficiency. So I was really, really active about staying on a high mineral diet and taking a ton of vitamins and supplements through postpartum.
Mhm. Okay, so let's get into it then.
Okay.
So I want to know because I did lose a lot of hair for viewers to know, and I got in the bandwagon too late. I did feel like I found a few things, and we'll see if Justine mentioned some of this stuff that helped to prevent the hair loss. But by that point, I had suddenly lost so much, and really around that 3-4 month mark that they say,
Yeah.
that I think Justine actually chopped my hair off for me. You did
Oh, yeah.
actually. It was a beautiful haircut too. It was perfect.
Right.
It was gorgeous. So, are there any supplements and or just vitamins you can take or nutrients that you can have that you can take and anything that you can apply?
Yeah, so definitely. Also, part of it too is I think people are so good about taking prenatals through pregnancy that once they
Yeah.
have a baby, they're like, okay, like I don't need to take these anymore. But that's not true. If anything, you need to take them more so. So I stayed on my prenatals, and
Mhm.
then, or you can get a postnatal, something that is high quality and that I read the labels on every vitamin that I buy. And like, I'm like, okay, what percentage of all of these things do they have? Because they're not all the same and they're
Mhm.
not all created equally. So you need to find something that's really high quality, that has a lot of different minerals in it. You want to look for things like folic acid or folate. I try to get whole food supplements, so ones that are easily digested, like from like food is digested, and
Mhm.
then keep taking DHA. So you can also get a DHA postnatal, and
Mm.
then magnesium, which also is supposed to help with milk production. And it's supposed to help with stress, which we're really stressed after giving birth too from not sleeping. So it helps your body to relax. And then vitamin D and collagen. So
Okay,
those
great.
are the ones, yeah, that I would say are the most important.
Did you do anything topically
And
too
then
to your hair?
topically,
Yeah.
yes. Then topically applying different things that are supposed to help prevent hair from shedding. So there's two natural remedies that I love, which is
Mhm.
castor oil and rosemary essential oil, and you can mix them together and apply them to the scalp. And so that's what I did. I just applied it with like a color brush and just painted it on. And then you can let it sit overnight, or you can put it in at least 30 minutes before you shampoo your hair. And then you would just shampoo and condition as normal, but it really helps prevent.
Okay. So there's two things, because I want to talk about my experience with the application, but I'll get to that in a second. But how do you get the castor oil out? Because even when I was going through fertility drugs so many years ago, I had lost hair too. So I was trying the castor oil, but my hair, I just couldn't get it out really. How do you?
You just have to shampoo it. I shampoo
a
it
good
like
shampoo.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just want to
3
shampoo it
times.
out.
Okay. So speaking of, you guys can imagine how rosemary smells. So the thing that I found that stopped my hair loss pretty much was something I found on Etsy. Well, I was like researching ingredients, and I forget what the one ingredient was. So part of it was rosemary. There was oregano, all of these herbs. And and it was in an oil base, probably had some castor oil in it too. And you would just kind of apply it, but I smelled like a pizza.
Yeah.
So all the time.
It doesn't smell great.
But my hair stayed. Yeah. And you really only have to do it I think, I mean, if you start early, that's great, because you could start as soon as, you have the baby. But I think really focusing in 2-3 months to start preventing when that major thing is.
Yeah, I agree.
Or wearing it to bed or whatever. But yeah, but it works. That really worked for me. So then talking about, and this may be a repeat, but let's say we do lose our hair, which I did. I lost so much of it. What do you do to help it grow back faster?
I know. I mean, same thing. Taking supplements. I really think it's important to take care of your health and supplements, because there's only so much you can do on the outside. So if you're not getting the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, it all shows up in your hair. So it's just so important to really take care of yourself in that way. Not only is it just good for you in general, but it really is, your hair is really a reflection of your health. And it oftentimes takes about 4 to 6 months to see a change in your hair from whatever, is happening in your life. Like, if you're experiencing—
It's similar for skin too.
Yeah.
I mean, I just say that for people to
Exactly.
understand. You have to stick with those changes. You have to be consistent.
Exactly. And that's why it takes a few months after childbirth to see the postpartum hair loss as well. So if you are experiencing hair loss all of a sudden, you might want to think back on what was happening a few months ago. And if you were going through something that was particularly stressful, traumatic, or where you felt particularly depleted.
The Keep It Simple Sexy podcast is brought to you by KO Body Care. Uh-oh, guys, I'm going to fill you in on something. My pants are fitting a little tight today. Have you guys ever felt the same? A little bloated, ate something that didn't mix well with your tummy? Well, I'm going to let you in on my personal hack. KO Body Care's clean plant-based supplement, Bloat Be Gone, and it will be gone. As the founder and CEO of KO, we spent so long getting these formulas perfect, and this one really works instantly. Our customers are just as obsessed with it as I am. What I love about this one is that it soothes bloating and digestive discomfort fast while healing over time. So I always slip this one in my purse when I'm going out to dinner, and that way I can throw it in some water, drink it, and feel great. Try it out for yourself and see the bloat and discomfort start to disappear, leaving you feeling your best. Head to kobodycare.com and use our code KISS20 for 20% off your first purchase. We were talking about the stress levels. So we're talking about a lot of the supplementation and the topicals, but really finding peace with everything and finding moments for yourself, finding meditation and getting back to yourself and those things that you need, because we lose ourselves as mothers. We really do.
Yeah.
You lose your sexuality a lot, but with breastfeeding, your body's not your own. You are bleeding from spots, you're wearing diapers. There's a lot. So it's, just to be able to be okay with that and still find that it will actually probably also be preventative, because you're not as stressed as you're saying. And I imagine too, actually adaptogens would be really good too. And that's another
100%.
Supplement. Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll be taking it all this time around.
Definitely.
So it also, as we mentioned too, let's just talk hairstyling, mommy. So I had you chop my hair and I absolutely loved it. I actually felt a lot younger with a shorter haircut. You hear a lot of women who do the same thing, especially when you start to lose your hair. But the funny thing is, even when I adopted Remy and my first child, I chopped my hair too, because when
Wow.
you're breastfeeding,
They
it's in the
pull.
baby's face, but you never
Yeah.
did. I mean, you did a little trim. So, what are some hairstyles that you recommend that you see all the time for the mommies to help out and to kind of cover the baby hairs and all that kind of stuff?
Totally. The early postpartum stages, I wore my hair in braids a lot, and I just think
Ah,
that's the easiest way to just have your hair controlled, out of the way. If it's dirty, it doesn't matter. You can even put the hair oils on your scalp and then braid it up and let it sit for a long time. And then you don't have to worry about, baby pulling on it or getting caught in it, or if you're sleeping with the baby, the baby getting tangled in your hair or whatever it is. So braids were a lifesaver. They're also great for just being really gentle on your hair. If you don't want to pull on the hairline, you can just apply those oils right to the scalp. So that's one of my favorites. I wear my hair up a lot when I'm with my son. Most of the time, it's probably in like a top knot or a bun or a sleek braid, because it's just so nice to have it out of the way. But
mhm.
if you do want to try a new look and you are experiencing some of that postpartum hair loss, I love bangs for new moms. I think fringe is really beautiful because even if your hair is up, there's something framing your face. And it does kind of put those baby hairs to work a little bit and kind of blend that grow out a little
That's what
bit.
I said I'm gonna do this time. I was like, to all
Yeah.
my hairstylists, including you, do not chop it this time if I ask you to. Just give me bangs. Give
Yeah,
me
I
a
think
fringe.
it's
Give
neat
me a fair
too.
faucet. Yeah.
Totally, and it frames the face, it opens up your features, and it makes you feel like you have a little bit of something that's stylish, even if your hair's pulled up or in a top knot or bun or whatever it is.
Mhm. Okay, great tips. You can chop it if you want to, guys. I do love
Yeah,
a
of
good sleek
course.
look, but it does make it hard sometimes to pull it up and do all the other things
Right.
with it, you know? Uh,
Mhm.
well, okay, so we're talking a lot about the post-pregnancy. I hear the same things coming from women of all ages right now based on stress, maybe based on hormones, all of that. Is the hair loss that you get from stress and hormones similar to the hair loss or hair thinning too that you're getting from postpartum? And would you basically recommend the same kind of stuff for
Yeah,
it? Okay.
definitely. Very
Yeah.
similar. And part of it probably that contributes to postpartum is the stress of having a new baby, childbirth, feeling
Mhm.
not like yourself, not sleeping. Everything else that goes into it also just is stressful on your body.
Yeah. All right. There you guys go. You guys need your supplementation. And it's funny. I mean, obviously, I own a supplement brand, but that is one of the reasons why I find it so important is that, yes, we need to get our nutrients through our foods that we eat. We can't go to McDonald's every day and then
Right.
take our greens, but we're not getting as much in the foods, in the soils. Our digestive systems are a little bit more roughed up. And so they're not getting the nutrients that
Yeah.
they need. And so we just see for everything, it's so vital to be taking that extra supplementation for you to feel your best. It's really helped me a lot, even getting pregnant in the long run, too.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's end with a high note here. What are the hairstyling trends of 2022?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think we're seeing lots of more red colors, which is
Ooh.
fun because I think for so long people were afraid to do red, but we're seeing like auburns, more rich chocolatey browns that have those red undertones. So I think you don't need to be afraid of warmth if you're willing to try something new because we're definitely seeing more warmer tones in the hair. Super long lengths. I love super long lengths right now. So if you can't grow your hair super long or you want an instant fix, you can always try extensions, which is a great way to get that super sexy long look really quickly. And then bangs, like we were talking about, the fringe, the face framing layers, the 90s kind of haircut that has a lot of layers in the front, and just voluminous bombshell hair. We're really seeing, that healthy, bouncy blowout come back.
Oh, that's like my decade, that early 90s. I'm so with all of this. Let me
Totally.
go get my back comb.
Yes.
Well, Well, you guys heard it here first. We always do a little speed round too, Justine, if you have a minute. I'm just going to pick a
Yes.
couple and you can just shout it out,
Okay.
basically. Do you eat breakfast or do you like intermittent fasting?
Breakfast.
Ooh, I like
Yeah, I'm always hungry when I wake up.
it. When do you feel your most beautiful or sexy?
When I have had a good night's rest.
Oh, I love yes, girl. So does the whole family feels, oh my gosh, you're glowing, right? I know.
Yes.
I know. I don't know what that feels like currently.
Me either.
I love this one for you too, because I know how busy your mornings can be, not only with the child, but you have to be out the door for your job really fast. So
Mhm.
what are the habits that you have in your morning routine that really set the tone to your day that you try to include every day?
Since I've had my son, I don't check my phone in the morning. So I get up and I'm just really present with my son and my husband. My husband and I always have our coffee together, and I just take the morning to play with my son and make him breakfast and hang out with him.
I love that. That's something that I've really worked on too. And just at meals, really sitting there without my phone too, because sometimes
Yeah.
we're still working, we're catching up, and, to really put it down. It
Mhm.
does set the tone for a much better day because you're
Yeah,
not already frazzled everywhere. You're focused. And
totally.
then last one, what's one thing you're currently working to improve in your life or manifest?
I definitely am looking to have more self-care. It's been really hard. I've really lost, I used to feel like I was the CEO of self-care,
You were
but
the self-care queen, I
yeah,
was about
I
to say.
really
Yeah.
loved doing all of those, self-care rituals, but
Mhm,
I really haven't had a lot of time for it since I've had a child.
mhm.
So now that he's almost 1, I'm really looking forward to try to carve some of that time out for myself again.
You will. I do think it's the age too, and it's like
Yeah,
right when they hit around there, you start to find those little moments for yourself again. But that's great because
totally.
mommy needs to take care of herself first, for sure. Well,
Totally.
thank you, Justine, for joining us today. It's been lovely to see you.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
your amazing tips. Like I said, she really did not lose the hair. So I trust. This is why I came to this woman. She's the expert in all things gorgeous, glamorous, shiny, long locks. Again, go to the YouTube. Check her out and at her social media, Justine Marjan, her website, justinemarjan.com as well. And just tons of stuff on her own YouTube, videos on her social. I mean, she's the one to follow for just lots of styling content, beauty content, just all of it. So much fun. She is the artiste. So thank you for being here, Justine. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Christine. It was so nice to chat with you.
Nice to see you, babe. You can visit today's notes of the podcast just so you can achieve Justine's shiny, gorgeous locks. Subscribe to us. And if you love today's episode, make sure you leave us a review. I love, love, love to read them, and share it with a friend who's going through postpartum or is coming up on postpartum so they don't lose the hair, guys. Have questions you need answered? Text me at 1-310-361-8697. Make sure you're following me on social at Christine Bullock, and have a healthy, happy week.